Hello, Gary Parker here. We're going to play around with Google Docs and file formats today. So this is some information from week 2. So earlier we took a look at Google Drive a little bit, and we'll look at Google Docs here and file formats and extensions. And then there's an autobiography assignment that we'll look at briefly later. So GFC or GCFlearnfree.org has some Google Docs tutorials. They follow up on what you went through earlier in Google Drive tutorials. So there are a bunch of different tutorials here on that home page, and you can either go straight to the Google Docs page. Google Drive is in the first part of the tutorial. And Google Docs, this stuff here is in the second part. So what you'll need to do is go through each of these. There we go. So earlier you went through the Google Drive stuff. That's a little bit of information about Google Docs. And so here's some more information about Google Docs. And then some extra stuff if you want to take a look at it. So I'm going to start off with the text basics. And this file was brought up before. So inserting text is a lot like working in Microsoft Word if you use that before. You can highlight text, text can be deleted. You can use the mouse to get around the page, and you can use the keyboard, and handy keyboard shortcuts are Control-C for copy, Control-X for cut, and Control-V for paste. On a Mac, it would be Command-C, Command-X, and Command-V. And those are useful things to know in using a lot of Google apps. So you're just going to play around with some things in there, take a look at those. And then there's a tutorial at the end. Try to do that right now so I can review how to work with files shared from elsewhere. So GCF Learn Free is going to share this file with us. And all of their files are shared view only. So anybody can see this. If there's a bunch of people looking at this file at the same time, then we'll see a bunch of little icons right here. So somebody else is looking at this file, and they're an anonymous chinchilla. So here's the file we're going to mess with. Now, in order to mess with it, two things have to happen. One, we have to make a copy of it. And we need to put it in the right spot. And then put it in the right spot's the second thing. So go into your CS120 tutorials. Here I'm going to make a new folder. And this one's going to be called Google Docs. Create it, put this into it, and then I can select that folder. So, and then I should give it a name. So copy of, call it, there it is, Google Docs Text Basics. And I might make a note that this is tutorial number 2. Keep track of, I do have a file from each of the tutorials. Did I look at the drive before I submit it? So in the challenge here, there's different things they ask you to do to this file. And so I would like you to go through and try to do those things. If you're not sure how to do something, either you didn't read it from above or you forgot after you read it. So for example, if you're not sure how to insert the symbol, that was given above here in the tutorial. A menu for the tutorials can pop up by clicking on the side. And so here I can say, oh yeah, inserting special characters. How do I do that again? Oh right, insert special characters. Now I remember. And so you can get that in there. But an important thing about grabbing files from other places, it does not become a part of your drive until you do one of two things. You either have to make a copy of it, or you have to add it to your drive. Once you've made a copy or added it to your drive, you have to organize it and put it in the right spot. Sure, if a particular file is in the right spot, you can always check by going a couple different ways. You can go to the File menu, and you can go to Move To, and it'll say, hey, it's currently in Google Docs. And you can go, well, is that the right thing? Oh yeah, Google Docs, tutorial CS120. Or you could decide to move it somewhere else. Like, oops, this was supposed to be in projects. Or I meant it to be in research. Or maybe you're in completely the wrong class and you want to get out back to your main drive. I'm just going to cancel that because it was in the right spot. All right, so that's an important part of playing with Google Drive and Docs in general. So another thing I want to play with are file types. So right now, this particular file is a Google Doc file. It only exists online at the moment. It does not live on the computer that I'm working from here. If I want to get it on the computer I'm working from here, then I have to download it. And I have some download options here. Common download is Microsoft Word. A lot of people use that. I use what's called OpenOffice, so that's a good format for me. Rich text format most word processors can use. PDF is very popular. It's a portable document format that's designed to print the same way on any printer. Plain text, web page, EPUB, and those are other options we won't use here. So I'm going to download this in two different ways. I'm going to download it as a Microsoft Word document. And the way I have my Chrome set up, it goes right into my downloads folder. And so I'm just going to click the arrow next to that download, and I want to see it in my downloads folder. Dismiss that for now. Sort this by date modified. Okay, so here is the file that I just downloaded seconds ago. And I actually want to move that to the right spot. And so on my home computer, I can have two different windows up here, and I can just drag the file from downloads into the folder I prefer it to be in. When you look at a file on your computer, there's two ways to open it. One way is from your file manager, whether that's Windows Explorer or your Mac Finder. Here I'm running Linux, and it's just called the file utility. If you double click the file, then the computer will look at the file extension, the docx, and guess what program should open it. And oftentimes it'll guess right. Now here it opened it in my LibreOffice, which is like OpenOffice, which I use instead of Microsoft Office. And the document looks pretty much the same way it did in Google. Now I downloaded this file earlier, and I also downloaded it as a PDF. Now PDF stands for portable document format, and most PDFs are not editable. So if I try to highlight any of the text here, I can highlight it, but I can't do anything with it. So I'm hitting delete from the keyboard, and nothing happens. PDFs are viewable and printable for the most part. There are some that you can fill out like forms on and edit a little bit if you have the right software. But for most people, most of the time, PDF is like a picture of something, in this case, text. Now, if I want to take a Word document and make it a PDF, I have to open the right program that will do that for me. I can't just go over here and rename the file and get rid of the docx and replace it with PDF. If I do that, I'm going to screw things up. Ooh, in this case, it said it could not be renamed because it's in use right now. Okay, I must have this open somewhere. Let's see it. So let's make a copy of it and try it again. Sometimes your computer won't let you do that kind of thing. Paste. All right, so pasted a copy of that. Let's try again to rename that docx as a PDF. So what I'm doing right now is bad. You shouldn't ever do this. All right, so it did it. So now, I have this PDF over here that my computer recognizes as a PDF. If I try to do the same thing here, it's going to say, hey, something's wrong with this. I can't open this. So it's giving me an error message because I screwed it up. I took a docx format and I tried to open it as a PDF by renaming it as a PDF. So when I double clicked on it, the computer looked at the PDF extension and said, oh, you should open this with a PDF viewer. Unfortunately, it wasn't a PDF, so the computer got confused and didn't know what to do. So I'm going to put it back to the way it was. If you try to look inside of a file directly without having the right program open it, then you get some interesting things. So I'm going to open one of those in what's called a text editor. So let's take the one I just downloaded. Open. And the computer says, ooh, something's weird about this file. It may be a binary file. It's not sure what to do with it. So it wants to replace some of the symbols. And okay, here we go. So this is what the computer sees when it tries to open up, say, a docx file. And notice that there's something about word and numbering, but otherwise it's not really readable to a human. So the right program has to look at all this code and figure out how to interpret it for a human to be able to look at it. Try another one like the PDF file. Computer says, this is strange. Convert it to be readable. And again, I use the wrong program to open it. It notes that it is a PDF file, but it looks crazy inside. The computer knows how to interpret this if it has the right software. Do one more just for fun. Let's take an image file. And the computer's like, this is bizarre. This kind of image is called a PNG, and this is what an image looks like to a computer. The right software then takes all of this crazy stuff and converts it into something that's more pleasing to us. So if I go back to my folder here and I try to double click on the image file, double clicking, the computer will guess what kind of program should open a PNG file, and it'll display it if it opens the right software. So this is exactly what it was supposed to look like. Right? It's just this graphic that says Master of Computer Basics, which you guys are getting to be right now. Okay. So my point here is any program that saves a file to the computer has to do so in a special format that the computer can handle and the program that opens it or needs to reopen it will understand. And typically a file extension is used to differentiate what kind of files go with what program. Should Microsoft Word open it? Should an image editor open it? Should a viewer open it? Should a web browser open it? And the computer guesses at that. Every once in a while, though, you get a file that has an extension that your computer doesn't expect. And then you have to pick the program that should open it. And usually the way that happens is first you open the appropriate program. I'm going to go to Office and go to my LibreOffice Writer. And then I could go to Open and navigate over to my folder and grab the file with the extension it didn't know what to do with. And then hopefully I grab the right program and then it can view the file. All right, so file extensions and formats. Each extension goes with a particular format. You can't manually change the format and hope it works, or the extension and hope it puts it in the right format. You have to open the file in a special program, and that program can format it. So for example, Google Docs can reformat files into any of these options: MS Word, Open Doc, Rich Text, PDF, Plain Text, Web Page, or EPUB. My Open Office program, if I go to File and choose Save As, and I look at the formats, there are a ton of different formats I can choose from to reformat this into. And every program works a little bit different in the types of files it can reformat from one kind to another. All right, let's get back here. So as far as file formats go, there was a reading assignment following the Google Docs stuff called File Formats and Extensions. And I link out here to a couple of other pages. Many of these are from Wikipedia, but they go over some common file types, the extensions that go with those file types. So take a look at the beginnings, at least, of these, and then read through what I wrote about save as and file types. This is important stuff, because we're going to work with a lot of file types this quarter. So your goal this week is to get through the Google Drive tutorial and then submit what's asked, to get through the Google Docs tutorial. At the end of each of these is a challenge. All of the challenges have files that you'll play with. Each of those files will get stored in your Google Docs tutorial folder. And then at the end of this, you will, at the top, you will submit, and then you'll give me a link to your Google Drive. Okay. And again, to get that, you have to open your drive if it's not already open. Find the folder that you want to share with me here, Google Docs. And so here I can right-click Google Docs, share, and I can grab that shareable link. Alternatively, right-clicking on it, get shareable link just copies it automatically, and that's when it gets submitted. Now remember, as far as submitting links goes, instead of just pasting the address in and sending that ugly address, better way is to just give me some text here. here, I could say take the phrase link to my folder and make that a link with the address I just copied and now pasted. And you can submit that. Now notice I submitted this before I was done. No big deal. I, as the teacher, am not going to look at this until about a week from now. So next Monday, I'll start reading through all your Google Docs and Drive folders. And by then, you'll have all the files in there. So it doesn't matter that, say, today, you only have one file in there, because by the time I look at this next week, you'll have a whole bunch of other files in there that I'll see. And that link, whenever I click on it, shows me whatever's there at that point in time, not the date you shared it with me. So something to keep in mind. All right, that's it for now. Have fun, do good computing things. I'll see you later.